Hello and welcome to that most mythical, most fabled, rarely seen van vlog where I take the van out, campervanning, for a couple of nights. I'm off to the Stratford Racecourse, and yes, I have been to events at Stratford Racecourse before, but this one, technically speaking, is different. It's Camperlife at Stratford, but the general gist is the same. It's a load of people in campervans parking up at Stratford Racecourse and enjoying the general ambience. The weather forecast, well, it's a British summer, so it's shocking. Intermittent showers, possibly a little bit of blue skies if we're lucky, just to tease us with, just to taunt us, and then back to rain showers again. So I'm getting there a little bit later than planned, so I better get cracking. I have arrived at Stratford. This is the social media influencers enclave. Those people ahead of me are social media influencers, and I'm waiting to be told where to park, but no sign of the lady who tells me where to park. We have been given a bag for our rubbish, which is a jolly good idea. There's also a programme of talks and events over the weekend, which I'll have a look at. I've already been told that one of the other van people here, has a pizza oven, which I'm looking forward to testing. There are a lot of vans here, and this is all people with YouTube channels and Instagram channels and whatever. About 60, apparently.
Saturday dawned very pleasant indeed. Very quiet too, apart from the odd dog wanting to be taken for a walk. There was even a hint of sunshine. That wasn't to last long. I decided to go for my morning ablutions in the shower block. And was back before long, all clean and sparkly.
I am, it has to be said, something of a lightweight, having gone to bed at about midnight last night, leaving everyone else behind in the bar area. It wasn't really a bar, it wasn't open, there was just a room we were all gathered in to keep out of the cold, and I could hear the raucous laughter echoing for quite a while after I went to bed. But I'm very much an introvert, and after a certain amount of chatting and whatever, I just need a little quiet space to myself, and I'd had a long day yesterday, so back to the van it was. I wish I had it in me, I really do. I mean, by and large, mustn't grumble, but if I could change something, I wish I had it in me to just be able to be more sociable with ease, and it's not something I'm good at doing. Anyway, I shall crack on with my day. It's time for breakfast.
As you can see, I have all the critical breakfast ingredients. A cup of tea, got some waffles with some fake maple syrup, got some Pringles in the background, that's for a mid-morning snack, and of course, camped in the middle of a field, hay fever tablets. Ah, the classic British summer. Such joy. There I was, saying I'm no good at being sociable, and I was just sitting here having a cup of tea with the door of the van open, and this lady was walking past having a look at the vans, and I thought, right, let's be sociable. And I said, hello, good morning, and she came over and we just had the most lovely chat, and she was so nice, and we had a good chat about vans and van life and all kind of different aspects of everything. I was just really, really pleasant. And she has a channel on YouTube, Carnivore Camper, so if you want to go and have a look and check her out, do. There is a gap in the rain. Time to take a quick look at some of the trade stands.
There was, first of all, a selection of pre-built, professionally done camper conversions on generally older vehicles.
Lots of interesting electricals on display, including batteries and such like from Roma, and solar panels. In terms of things I might actually buy, I've already had a good chat with the people at Tech Tanks, who make, as you can see, plastic tanks. Mostly for boats, but they're expanding their remit. And I'm thinking something a bit like this, but a bit fatter, would do nicely on my little boat. So I need to measure up properly and give them some dimensions. Apparently they can fabricate pretty much any shape, although that might be more costly than, well, it will be more costly than just buying a ready-made tank from their range. So I'm really hoping they just have a fatter version of this. And I'm thinking rather than make it permanent in the boat with a water filler hole, I'll have it portable like that with some kind of stop-lock hose attachment at the bottom, so I can just unplug the line to the tap, take the whole tank out, fill it with water and pop it back in. This whole row is trade stands. There's everything from jewellery and face painting and random stuff to camper bits, pottery, the usual sort of thing.
I was rather taken by the notion of one of these fire pits. They are collapsible. They sort of come apart into just flat sheets of solid steel, different sizes, as you can see. I was thinking I'd have the smaller one. Very solidly built, thick steel. There it is, collapsed. And you have the option of different trays to go across the top. So there's one you could cook eggs on one side, for example, and your sausages on the other. I didn't buy it in the end, though. Also, I've always quite fancied one of these Fiat 4x4s, but it wasn't really the car that was on display here as the tent atop it. Quite a cute little, easy pop-up camping tent that you just pop on your car. There's the info, if you want more details about it. The clouds were ominous. And I thought this guy was optimistic, but there was a queue for ice cream. Anyway, it started raining, so I went in to listen to some seminars.
Every particular place on there, and it'd be kind of fixed to that.
I have just woken from an unexpected 2-hour-ish nap. I went to one of the talks, and then I came back to the van thinking I'm really tired. And that was about 1 o'clock, I suppose. It's now 3 o'clock. I just zonked out for 2 hours. I'm not feeling terribly with it. I think it's just a bit of tiredness, but hopefully nothing more than that. The sun is now shining. It's gloriously warm in the van, so I've opened the side door, and I'm toying with having a very late lunch.
I contemplated doing some beef burgers to go in these rolls, but why break the habits of a lifetime? So cheese and tomato it is. I was going to fling the drone up to get a shot of the campsite, but it is really blowing quite hard out there. And the drone will struggle, if not indeed get sent to another county. Maybe tomorrow. Good morning. It is Sunday morning. I did not film anything really yesterday afternoon because after lunch I fell asleep for a solid 2 hours. Went and saw another of the talks and then came back to the van and just watched a bit of YouTube, read my book and had a chilled evening and night, so not much to talk about there. It rained terrifically overnight. It woke me up. It was hammering on the roof, it was. Inevitably, by the time I reached for the camcorder to point it at the ceiling and record some of it, the rain stopped. So here's your top tip. If it is ever catastrophically raining, get your camcorder out because it seems to stop the rain immediately. The plan for today, just have a bit of breakfast, chill. It is Sunday morning after all. It's very quiet here on the showground. There's a few people up and about. I have showered, so I am clean and not pongy. You'll be pleased to know. And then later on I shall pot around a few of the vans and maybe see if I can get the odd van tour in before I go home later on this afternoon.
First things first, though, and the very important task of playing with Peggy, the piranha, named so for her sharp little puppy teeth, 4 months old and full of boundless energy, which was more than could be said for me.
Let us go into the Field of Dreams. Sounds exotic. Assorted campers on display here, like this Chevy. Look at that artwork. That is glorious, isn't it? Really nice. And then is any show complete without an Airstream? Look at how that sky reflects off that roof. Speaking of stunning artwork, look at that. And then on the other side of the field, there's all those. But as we're on an artwork theme, and this is Doris.
Doris the van. I think we've got shower room on the left. Look at this, a dinette area. How posh is that? Separate dinette area. Kitchen on both sides. All mod cons. And then bed at the back. Lots of headroom too, and lots of light. This is Luna, the green goddess, for very obvious reasons.
Inside, very much a cosy cottage vibe. Lots and lots of wood, all custom made. It felt very comfortable. A nice place to be.
And here is the view from the back. Imagine sitting in there looking out over some glorious vista. It would be perfect. How's about that with a fold down stage area? The classic split screen V-dub. These are adorable, I think, is surely the word. This is quite some creation. Shall I get a set of wheels like that for mine? You don't see many of those, especially with the onboard tent on top as well.
I had a quick peek inside, but I'm unclear whether you can access the tent from inside. It looks like there might be a hatch in the ceiling, but I'm not sure, and the owners were busy talking to other people, so I couldn't check.
There be pirates here. I'm not sure why. Now this is the monster motorhome of YouTubers and event, not quite event organisers, but talks organisers at this event, what's occurring. And you know, the bigger the motorhome, honestly, no offence, but the less interest I have in it. But they also have something else, and it's this. Minty coloured, can we say minty coloured? Pastel Extraordinaire Transit Custom. Let's have a look inside. It's a sleek looking thing, isn't it? And although there isn't quite enough headroom for me to stand up, it's about 5'9", I'm 5'10". It's not bad. And you've got your cooking facilities. You've got your fridge there. There's an induction hob there. Tiny little sink there with one of those flashy tap things that you can point in any direction. Loads of storage over. And then obviously this back U-shaped seating area that converts to a bed. More storage over. More storage below and a heater outlet. And then at this end you can pull out the porta potty. So in terms of facilities, very much like my own van. But just about with standing headroom. I am about an inch too tall. That's me actually standing up straight. There's so many little storage nooks in here. You've got space under the seats as well. There's a wine rack in the corner, and you've got this giant cupboard as well under the sink. And yet, despite all the cupboards and all the stuff that's in here, it doesn't feel cramped. It feels actually spacious. Yeah, I'm so tempted. I'm so tempted, but I've got enough on my plate restoring the boat without doing another van. But once you get that little itch, you know, you want to start scratching it, and you start thinking, I could do this, I could do that. Must not get carried away. Must not get carried away. Well, apart from wandering around looking at the vans, I've largely spent the morning just chatting to people. You know, you wander around and you end up having a little chat with people and they show you different bits of their vans. It's all very pleasant, very amiable. It's got a very casual vibe to it.
this thing. I was going to go to another of the talks, but ended up chatting to someone, so I'm not going to that one now. I think, with it being lunchtime, I shall sit in the van. The sun is out, it is nice and warm, and I shall have another chilled afternoon until it's time to go home.
And chilled it was, with yet another lovely afternoon nap in the sunshine, and I did also read a bit of my book as well. And after that, it was time to go home.
It's mid-afternoon, the field is gently clearing. I think it's time to call it a day and head home.